The gun held 8 bullets. The police found 13 bullet holes. They tell us it was an open and shut case. A lone gunman. But when you dig into the releases from the National Archives, the official story doesn't just crack. It shatters. You find physics that don't exist, evidence that was burned by the police, and receipts that prove witnesses lied. Here are the facts about the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy that simply cannot be explained by the lone gunman theory. The impossible physics, angle and distance. The government's entire case rests on one claim. As the summary states, Sirhan Sirhan fired all 8 shots and did not reload. Every witness in the pantry placed Sirhan at least 3 feet away from the senator. But the official autopsy, performed by Dr. Thomas Noguchi, tells a different story. The report is clear. Bullet entered Senator Kennedy's head behind the right ear. Dr. Noguchi documented stippling, powder burns on the skin. The document reads, powder pattern indicates that the weapon's muzzle was approximately 1 inch from the ear. But here is the detail most people miss. The angle. The autopsy explicitly states the bullet traveled upward at an angle of roughly 15 degrees. Sirhan was standing in front of Kennedy. They were roughly the same height. For Sirhan to make that shot, he would have had to be lying on the floor behind Kennedy shooting up. Sirhan was standing. The physics are impossible. The fatal bullet was fired from inches behind and from below. The man behind the senator. The clip-on tie. If Sirhan was in front, who was standing directly behind Kennedy's right shoulder? His name was Thane Eugene Cesar, a security guard hired at the last minute. And unlike Sirhan, Cesar was standing exactly where the fatal shot came from, touching RFK's elbow. In the chaos, witnesses described a struggle. Cesar fell backward. There is a strange detail in the police report. Cesar was wearing a clip-on tie. During the shooting, it was ripped off and found lying next to the senator's hand. Why does this matter? Because Cesar was the only person in the kill zone, close enough to struggle with the senator and lose his tie. Cesar carried a .22 caliber revolver that night. He told police he sold the gun before the assassination, but a receipt uncovered years later destroys that alibi. The document confirms Cesar did not sell it until 3 months later on September 6, 1968. He lied to the police about the murder weapon. And when the case was briefly reopened in the 90s, Cesar didn't stick around to clear his name. He immediately sold his house and fled to the Philippines, putting an ocean between him and the subpoena. The Pruszynski Tape, the 120 millisecond gap. Sirhan fired 8 times. That is the official limit. But for decades, a crucial piece of evidence lay buried: the Pruszynski Tape. The FBI receipt FD597 confirms the existence of a copy of the Stanislaw Pruszynski tape. Modern audio experts analyzed the waveform. They didn't hear 8 shots, they heard 13. But the number of shots isn't the smoking gun. The timing is. The analysis reveals double shots, 2 mechanical impulses so close together that no single human finger could pull a trigger that fast. The interval between 2 of the shots was 120 milliseconds. A human finger needs at least 300 milliseconds to reset and pull a trigger again. Even a machine gun is slower than that interval. The expert conclusion is chilling. His tests clearly established that at least 13 shots were fired from 2 different .22 caliber revolvers. 2 guns, firing at the exact same time. The Hypnosis Diaries, the Manchurian Candidate. This is the part that makes the case sound like a psychological thriller. After the shooting, Sirhan didn't run. He didn't scream. He stood there, glassy-eyed, completely calm. When police searched his apartment, they found notebooks. But they weren't normal diaries. They were pages upon pages of automatic writing. RFK must die. RFK must die. RFK must die. Written thousands of times. Psychiatrists who examined Sirhan, including Dr. Bernard Diamond, concluded he was in a hypnotic trance. Under hypnosis in prison, Sirhan could reproduce the writing, but when he woke up, he had no memory of it. The document reads, "My determination to eliminate RFK is becoming more and more of an unshakable obsession. Was he a political fanatic, or was he a programmed distraction? placed there to draw fire while the professional took the shot from behind. The girl in the polka dot dress, the smile. We've all heard the legend of the girl in the polka dot dress running from the scene, but the witness testimony adds a disturbing detail. She wasn't scared, she was happy. Witness Sandra Serrano described the girl running out to the fire escape. She shouted, "We shot him! We shot him!" When Serrano asked who they shot, the girl replied, "Senator Kennedy." And she was smiling. Item number 40 in the archives list reads, "White dress with black polka dots. Police documents show an all-points bulletin was issued for her." But then the narrative shifted. The official interview record states, Amparo Serrano does not recall a girl saying, "We just shot Senator Kennedy." They didn't just ignore the witness, they rewrote her memory on paper to erase the second conspirator. The destruction order, cleaning house. Rule number 1 of crime scene investigation: preserve the evidence. Witnesses saw bullet holes in the door frames and ceiling panels. These holes were the flight recorder of the shooting. So, what did the LAPD do? An official log dated June 27, 1969, confirms the fate of these items. The door frames and ceiling tiles were disposed of, destroyed. They burned the physical evidence because, according to them, it had no evidentiary value. Why would you burn the wood unless the number of holes proved the official story was a lie? The bullet switch, the DW anomaly. It gets worse in the evidence locker. For the prosecution to win, the bullet from Kennedy's neck had to match Sirhan's gun. Criminalist William Harper discovered a terrifying anomaly. Dr. Noguchi, the coroner, marked the real bullet with the initials DW for his assistant, Dean Wayne, right after extracting it. The bullet sitting in the evidence box today does not have the DW marking. Documents reveal that the bullets were darkened with bluing chemical by Wolfer, almost impossible to recognize his initials. They darkened the bullets chemically to hide the fact that the markings were gone. The chain of custody was broken. The bullet that killed the senator disappeared from history. The voluntary informant, Memo, the motive, and finally, the motive. Why Robert Kennedy? A recently declassified memo from July 1955 reveals a secret about Robert Kennedy that changes everything. After a trip to the Soviet Union, RFK is listed in documents as a voluntary informant for the CIA. He wasn't just an outsider. He knew them. He knew their methods from the inside. When he threatened to reopen the JFK investigation, he wasn't just a politician making a promise. He was a former asset turning against his handlers. Sirhan Sirhan is still in prison, claiming no memory of the event. The evidence is unsealed. The question is, why are we still accepting the official story?